And welcome to a chip off the old block toys. This is a part of helping me get some stuff done, but also for me to experiment a little bit. I have never used Rumble Studios before. I usually use OBS or StreamYard, but I'm trying out Rumble Studios. It's supposed to be able to do both YouTube and Rumble at the same time, just like StreamYard. The only difference is it's free. So I want to give that a try and see how it works out. But this here, I want to start with deconstructing this set, and this is set number 40362. It was released in 2019, so it's 5 years old already. Hard to believe. 197 pieces, not that many. It's called the Battle of Endor, the 20th Anniversary Edition, and that's the 20th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So let's go ahead and let's give this a go, and we'll see what's going on. Yeah, so basically, for those who haven't, I've done a couple of these live streams now. And for those who haven't seen it, let me explain what I'm doing. I have limited space to display my Lego. And the problem is that here lately, the Lego has been getting soft out in the shop because it's too warm. And so I can't really store much in the shop until I have money for the HVAC being installed in there, and I just don't have the money. So the shop, I'm going to quit building the city for the time being because I don't want those pieces to get ruined. And I'm moving as much as I can in the basement, and the basement does have limited space. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking these apart, and I'm choosing sets that I'm likely not going to do anything with for a while. And today, I'm working on the diorama sets. I just don't care for having these built because, well, what can you really do with a diorama set? It's not something you can play with. It's not really, there's not a whole lot you could do with it. So I've chosen to destroy all of them. And I'm going to bag them up. So that's what I'm working on today. And by taking apart these diorama sets, I make more room in the basement for other sets that I do want to keep put together. So just kind of working on it. And if I remember right, this was a gift with purchase, this particular set. I mean, there's not much of it left, but I do like the micro scale little AT walkers. So anyway, I do like it quite a bit. And for those who are just joining me, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you're watching this on the replay, please give it a like or a rumble, depending on where you're watching it. The rumble is just, all it is a like button over on Rumble. And like I said, this is kind of an experiment because this is the first time I'm using Rumble Studios. And I have to admit, good, how you doing? Can you hear me okay? Hey, Jodo Cast, how you doing? It's good to see you. I'm tired. Yesterday, my son Spencer and I did a lot of work around here. There was a giant hole. Okay, so I shouldn't start with the story because I know some of you don't know who I am and you don't know my story. So about 2.5 years ago, I moved to the country for the first time in my life. And hey, Mayo, how you doing? So I'm a city boy trying to fake it as a country boy out here. And it's the first time I've ever lived out in the country. I've always lived in places that have 1 million people or more. I'm not kidding. I've lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've lived in Columbus, Ohio, which the greater Columbus area does have over 1 million. I've lived in Washington, D.C., which has like, I think the greater DC area is like 6 million. Anyway, everywhere I've ever lived has been just huge. And I think I surprised my wife by saying I want to move out to the country. And I bought this country home about 2 years ago. And the main reason I bought it was space. I own 3 acres. I've got a pretty good sized house with a 2,400 square foot shop. And I did it because I was already doing YouTube and I wanted to ensure that I had room to do YouTube things for years to come. So I bought the property. Only one problem. When you buy a country property and you're used to living in the city, there's a lot of things that are different. One thing is this house is not connected to sewer. It has a septic system. Never lived in a house with a septic system. As such, when I bought the home, I realized that the previous owners, due to the sheet they give you on the property disclosure statement, had never had the sewer tank pumped in the 15 years they lived here. So I went ahead and we had to locate the cover. And that was fun because the health department's supposed to have the location of it. And you get 3 measurements off the house, you make the measurements, and it's supposed to be there. Well, my son and I did that, and we dug a hole. We got down about 4 feet and never hit it. And then I realized on the report, it said it was only 12 inches down. So, I mean, if you've gone 4 feet and it's not there and you didn't hit it, the measurements are wrong. So what we did was we went up against the house, found where the sewer pipe in the basement went out the basement, measured it, went outside, measured it, dug straight down against the foundation, found the sewer pipe, and followed it until it hit the septic tank. And then from there, we had to kind of dig part of the septic tank out till we found the cover. Well, we never filled all that in, and we've had it dumped or emptied about a year ago. So yesterday, my son and I rectified that situation, and we went ahead and filled that all in. And it took, oh my gosh, a lot of the dirt blew away because there's nothing growing on it, and that's our fault for leaving it open like that for a year. But I do have a couple mounds of dirt on my property. So we used a wheelbarrow, and I'll admit he did most of the work. I didn't do much. And we went ahead and I think it was 7 wheelbarrows full. And I mean full, not just a little bit. I mean, like, you wouldn't be able to fit any more dirt. Dirt was falling out as we were moving it. And we filled that hole. And look at that. We're already done with the set. All right, well, let's move on to this guy here, the homestead. I think that was what it was called. I'm going to look it up on Bricklink real quick. Yep, Tatooine Homestead. Oh, no way. They actually, how did I miss that? They came out with the Lars Family Homestead Kitchen. No way. When did that come out? 2020. And I missed that. Holy crap, man. It's retailing for $50. There's no way I can buy that. Dang it. I really want that. Well, you learn something new every day. I just learned that I missed out. Anyway. And Mayo says, I'm just sitting here waiting for my phone to charge before I fly interstate to see my brother. When you mean fly interstate, you mean drive on the interstate? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just, I know we speak the same language, but sometimes the terms that are used in different countries are different than what I'm used to. And I'm assuming that's what you mean. So, and Jodo says, good, thanks. Awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that, man. And so my son and I, okay, I've been in the house 2.5 years. The problem is, in that 2.5 years, I've done a lot of work to the house, a lot of work. But the problem is, it's just not getting done fast enough. There's still a lot of things that need to be done. I'm packing away pretty much anything that I don't really look at that much, Mayo. And in this case, I'm doing the dioramas because my shop is causing my Legos to be a little soft because it gets too hot in there. And so I don't want them in there anymore. So I've moved a lot of my Lego down to the basement to the point where I have no more room in the basement because the basement's climate controlled. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm disassembling the sets that I don't really, I mean, like, what are you going to do with dioramas? You know, it's not like you really look at them that often. You can't really play with them. So I'm taking them apart to make room on my shelves down there for the other sets that I do not want to disassemble. So anyway, I've got a real estate deal, and I can't speak about it. Number one, I think it's bad luck to speak about things in advance. But I do have a real estate deal that looks likely to go through. And if it goes through, then my problems with a lot of things are going to go away. So, but like I said, number one, it's not fair for me, or not proper for me, to disclose details because the other parties involved probably don't want me to. And I haven't signed anything saying I can't, which surprises me because usually in real estate deals, you do sign a non-disclosure agreement. I think that's just a formality they left out. But whatever, I can't talk about it because I don't feel comfortable. But trust me when I say, if it goes through, things are going to be a lot better for me and Miss Chip. So if it actually goes through or it doesn't go through, I'll let you guys know what it was. That way, you know, but the timing's got to be right to reveal it. So. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of things to the house because after 2.5 years of working on it, and I kind of took a break over the winter, and well, it's not winter anymore, so it's time to do some more stuff. We've got some security lights on the outside that are LEDs, and you can't replace the bulbs, and they burnt out. Not all of them, just a couple of them. So I bought 3 brand new LED lights that match the other LED lights that I've replaced on the outside. And so that'll probably be done here soon. We did some touch-up paint yesterday in the dining room. Yeah, the previous owner patched up a 2 by 3 foot section, and the 2 by 3 foot section, it was a patch job, and he just never painted over it. So the rest of the dining room's like a yellow, and then we had this 2 by 3 foot section that was just drywall. And so Spencer and I primed it yesterday, and then after it dried, we put the first coat of paint. And sometime today, I need to bust open that paint can and put yet another coat on there. And it'll be done after the second coat. So I'm looking forward to finishing things up. And then I've got a contractor who's supposed to stop by because there's a few things that I'm just not comfortable doing, don't have the expertise. And one of those is the deck. The guy who installed the deck removed part of the siding to get it up against the house, but there's like a 2-inch gap all the way around on the very bottom of the deck. And I don't know what you fill that in with, some piece of siding. And I don't know siding at all. So I'm going to pay a contractor to come over and fill that in for me, and just stuff like that. Just get it done. And I think that's just the main thing is I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it sitting here. I haven't been able to do anything about it. So also today I probably need to do some work on the chicken coop. My chickens are escape artists, and every chance they get, they try to get out. And they found another way out. I found a way to plug it temporarily, so I need to do that. I will have a shop update video at the end of, on Monday. And let's see, I'm moving at the end of the month, and once I settle in, my Lego City should start to take shape. Hey, that's awesome, man. I love all things Lego, don't get me wrong, but I love city building the most. And that's awesome. You're working on a book, and I'm probably sure if you're working on a book, can't talk about it yet. If you can, please let me know some details, but if you're not comfortable, I totally get it. Once it's published, let me know. I'd like to look at it. Yeah, Mayo, you are correct. I am not trying to be mean when I say this, but the previous owner built this house from the ground up. And I was on a construction crew straight out of high school where I framed houses. And I'm not an expert, and I don't know everything there is about houses, but I do know a lot. Now that I've been in this house long enough, I will give my semi-professional opinion here. He had no business building a house. He is a freaking disaster. So I had to fix an electrical problem that has always been a problem, but we don't. It's a spare room that nobody uses, so I never worked on it. And finally, this last week, I tore apart some boxes and electric boxes, and I figured it out. Now it's been redone. It's been safe. It's safe now, but it was safe anyway because no one ever used it. So, yeah, there might have been a problem, but with it being dormant and not used, it wasn't going to catch fire. In fact, I had the breaker shut off to that room, so there wasn't any electricity even going to that room. But as you can imagine, why would you want a house with a room that you can't even use? And I don't. So I went ahead and I had to buy one piece that I didn't have to fix it, but it's all fixed up now. Oh, so you have some stuff on Rebrickable. That's awesome, man. And Jodo, I don't care. I am not one of these people that are possessive about my channels. I want to promote the hobby of Lego. That's literally the only reason I do this. And in fact, YouTube doesn't even pay me anything to do this. And so I don't care about the money. I'm not in for it. In it for that. I'm in it to promote the hobby of Lego. And even though I'm not getting paid, I'm still doing this. And even if I wasn't doing YouTube and Rumble, I'd still be doing what I've done. So what I'm trying to say is, feel free to drop a link. I don't know if there's a page. I don't know how Rebrickable works, but if there's like a page that they can go to that has your designs on it, please feel free to throw it in the chat. I don't care. I'm not possessive about my chats. I would love to help promote your stuff. Even if it's on a small scale, I'd love to help you out. So throw it in there. Don't disappoint. Throw it in there. You know, I always wanted to do this large. I've got 2 of them, and I intended on doing it, but I never got to it. I thinking about maybe even getting a couple more. I have, and Mrs. Chip can attest this, I've got about 500 Stormtrooper figures. I would love to do a huge scene with them. Anyway, it's never materialized. And right now, with the lack of space that I have, I doubt it will. Maybe sometime in the future. I don't know. But I got 2 of these to take apart. So you're not seeing double. Only moderators can comment. Really? Oh, shoot. Well, Judo, if you want to send me a link, if you have Instagram, just look up a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. Send me your link, and I will, and let me know that you've sent it on the stream, and I will post it if that's the way it goes. That's fine. I'll do that. So you do speeders. That's pretty cool, man. I've done a lot of mocks, but I've never taken the time to put anything. I don't even know how to do it, to do Rebrickable, but I've thought about it because I got a friend, Brent. He's a good guy. He loves his military stuff, and he's got like miniature like aircraft carriers, destroyers. In fact, he has a whole entire carrier strike group on his Rebrickable, and I just think it's the coolest thing. I am not seeing it at all, but if you want to send it to me on Instagram right now, I'll go ahead and post it. In fact, let me switch over to my Instagram so I'll see it when it comes through. Now that's funny. I switched over to I turned on my Instagram, and instantly my friend Brent's stuff came up. Oh, but yeah, as soon as you, oh, there, I think it said I got one. Okay, so you're, oh, I don't know if you want me to say the name. Oh, I see it. Yes. Okay, that is definitely. Okay, let me take a second here, and let me put it on YouTube, and then I'll put it on Rumble as well, so that it hits both. Okay, so I've got it on YouTube. Let me put it on Rumble. Okay, so it's in both locations now. Cool. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't go through on YouTube. That's weird, because I mean, like, I am a moderator. What the heck? I mean, I own the channel, right? Okay, I did not notice, but I'll take a look there, Mayo. Let's see. Well, I got it on Rumble here. Mrs. Chip, you're a moderator, right? Yeah, you're a moderator. Mrs. Chip, I'm going to send this to you by Facebook. And since you're a moderator, can you copy this link and throw it in the YouTube chat? Oh, come on. I'll tell you what. Computers are supposed to be so helpful, and they are, but sometimes they're not. Yeah, Mrs. Chip, I just sent you a link through Facebook Messenger. If you would, can you copy and paste that and put that in the YouTube chat, and we'll see if it goes through. Well, I did get it on Rumble. Rumble's not as widely looked at as my other channel on YouTube, but I got it on there, and we'll see if Mrs. Chip can work her magic and get that link on there. And I'll actually look at the link. Oh, no, you didn't open no can of worms. If anything, I opened it. I invited you to put it on there, but we'll figure it out. We will get it on there. And in fact, I'm going to do one better here. And I hate to say this, but if I remember, and I'm sorry because I have a bad memory, but if I remember when I'm done with the stream, okay, you put it in the chat. Okay, I'm not seeing it for some reason. It won't let us do links. I'll stick it in the description if I remember, so that way I'll just make a little reference to it. But that's really weird because I've had, well, something, Mayo. I mostly right now, because I'm trying to save my collection, what I have is deconstructing. So if you don't mind me deconstructing on your channel, I can do that. I don't mind. Oh, there we go. Mrs. Chip got it there. Cool. Thank you, Mrs. Chip. All right, I see the link. But yeah, Mayo, if you're open to the idea of me taking apart sets instead of building them, because I really need to do that. I don't want my stuff it's getting way hot here, and I think I don't know if the wildfires have anything to do with it, but we've got a few wildfires burning really close to us. And in fact, one of the wildfires, I got to do something about it tomorrow. My sister has 10 acres out in the middle of the country, and her what you call it, she has a trailer that's like $40,000, a really nice one. And unfortunately, the fire is less than 2 miles from her property. And if you know anything about wildfires, they can burn that fast in 24 hours. So what I'm doing tonight after she gets off of work, I'm driving down to her place, and she's got a huge truck, but she's not comfortable driving it. Don't ask me why she has it. Seems I'm not going to go there. To each their own. Anyway, the long story short is because she's not comfortable driving the truck, I'm driving down there. I'm picking up the truck. I'm taking it out to this place. I've been there many times. I know where it's at. And I am going to hook up her camper if it's not burned down yet. And I'm going to tow it back to my place because she doesn't have the 3 acres that I have to store it anywhere. And dude, I'm not trying to be funny, but I could park 10 junk cars on my property here. No one will care. I don't have any junk properties or junk cars or anything on my property. My property is actually really clean. But I could, and no one would care. And so I can camp in. I could put a nice camper trailer, and it is nice. I mean, it is sweet. Yeah, man. Okay. You know what? Yeah. What time's your stream on Fridays again? I think it's 9:00 my time. And if it is, I'm usually awake, man. Although I have to say, this Friday night will not work for me. This coming Friday night, I will actually be in Texas with Mrs. Chip. Mrs. Chip has decided that 1 bedroom is too small for her, and I agree it is because I've been there. It's cramped quarters, and so I'm gonna go ahead and help Miss Chip out. I'm gonna drive down there with my truck, and we're gonna, because I have a truck, it just ain't big enough to pull some big old freaking trailer. It can pull a small trailer, but I just have a Ford F-150. I don't have anything fancy. My sister does, though. Dang. She's got the Ford Raptor with all the bells and whistles. But anyway, the point is my truck and my butt is going to be in Texas helping Miss Chip move her stuff. And yes, that is a 22-hour drive. So, but that's okay. Mrs. Chip has got a ton of books here and personal items that she misses. And because she's getting a bigger place, I will be bringing down several boxes with me. And so I can add to her collection of stuff. And not that I really want to focus on my own death, because I hope that ain't going to happen anytime soon. But I have to say, I pity the poor fool when I pass away, man. And I mean, I pity them. All these dang Legos, what are they going to do with it? Not my problem. There was a comedian once that said, you know what happens when you die? A lot, but you're not going to be a part of it, so don't worry about it. So I guess that's the approach I'm taking, because in the movie Cars, when McQueen gets on stage prior to them announcing the winner, and he thought he won. It cracked me up so bad. He goes, Leakless went up to him and goes, "Hey, McQueen, I wouldn't worry about it because I didn't do it." That's kind of how I feel about whenever I do pass away, who's going to have to take care of my Legos. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't have to do it. But yeah, I've got a lot going on with a lot of different things right now. Miss Chip moving, fixing up the house, bringing Legos in because I don't want them to get damaged. There's just a lot I need to do. A lot. And you know, sad news, but not sad news. I don't have a job anymore. This last I don't want to throw anybody at the bus, but the last lady I worked for was really difficult to work for, to the point where she was stressing me the out. So I went ahead and just, me and Miss Chip talked about it, and since we really don't need the money from that job, I just said nope, I'm good, and I quit. Well, you know what, Mayo? I can't be there this Friday, but let me go ahead and I'll put it in my calendar for the 23rd, because I will be back by the 23rd. So that, you said 7 p.m. my time? Okay, so let me, okay, 7 p.m. I'm going to tell myself, let me know an hour before. Okay. All right, well, it's in my calendar for 7 p.m. my time, Friday the 23rd. And I'll be sitting here just putting stuff apart and making probably some inappropriate jokes, because that's just me. Not too inappropriate though. Nothing to get you canceled. I'm not that dumb. And you said I need to design some free instructions for Rebrickable. Yeah, you know, that's a good idea actually. Because do a couple of them, make them free, get your name out there, and then do some better ones and charge for them. Why not? Make some money. And I will mention another YouTuber that I really like, because I don't know if he's on Rebrickable, but on YouTube, he has some tutorials that, in my opinion, are awesome. And it's AFOL TV, AFOL TV, and he inspired me on how to make ATM machines. He has different ones in a city. I'm trying to remember the other ones he's got. I think he's the one that had the printing press that I didn't copy it, but it was influenced by it. Same with the ATMs. I didn't copy it directly, but it heavily influenced the designs to help me realize how I can make them. So anyway, AFOL TV, he's a good channel if you haven't seen him. I think he's in California, if I remember right. Or is that Jang Bricks? It's in California. I can't remember. But I like both those channels. Jang Bricks, I like his. Okay, I have always known it as a city. I know in his most recent videos, he has called it his train layout. He's not calling it a SIG layout anymore. Same difference to me. It's still cool. And not only that, look, I'm not making fun of the guy. I'm being serious. I think Jang Bricks has got a cool look. He kind of reminds me of Wolverine. And no, I'm not making fun of him. I respect the guy. I think he's cool. Oh my gosh, something's irritating my nose, and I apologize. I don't. Oh gosh. Oh, going to the airport. Okay, well, you have a good one, Mayo. Safe flight, safe travels. I'll catch you cats on the flip flop. No, I'm just kidding. That's Jack Black from. Oh God, what movie was that? Oh, now that's going to bother me. How do I say that and not remember which movie that's from? Okay, so oh, that's not it. Tantive, that's what it is. I put the wrong search word to find it. Oh, I found it. There you go. Oh, this is completely done now. The only problem is I've got a second one. Same exact set. I'm not going to do that one next. I'm going to give my fingers a break from that. I don't know what's next. I've got Dagobah. I've got the Death Star Trench up here. I've got the Return of the Jedi Death Star 2 Throne Room. I've got the trash compactor from the first Star Wars movie. I've got the Endor speeder bike chase. And another Tantum 5, the one I just did. So if you got one that you'd like me to do, or let me know. I'll go ahead and I'll do it. I'm going to do them all anyway, so what does it matter? And also, I don't know. Okay, all right, this one, it's sad. I'm emotional over Lego. I'll be honest, I just am. Okay, so I built the Venator Ultimate Collector Series. I did that while I was recovering from my neck surgery last year. That set is huge. And that's the problem. It's so huge that it takes up so much of my shelf space. And what are you going to do with an Ultimate Collector Series thing anyways? You're not going to play with it. You just display it. And I want the room for like my 3-in-1 city ones up there on that space. So I am heavily considering trashing it. And what I mean trash is doing what I'm doing now, tear it apart. Okay, well, Dagobah looks like it won its round with a wrecking ball. You look familiar, Miss Chip? Oh yeah, that's because it used to be yours. Now Mrs. Chip gave it to me. She knows about that. That's what you do with old makeup brushes. You keep them and you dust off your Legos with them. And I'm telling you that for a friend, by the way. I also have the 2 Ultimate Collector Series Star Destroyers that need to be broken apart. So, God, it's painful to do this, guys. It's so painful to do this. And I never thought I'd be emotional over a Lego, but here I am getting all emotional. Each one of them's like a kid to me. Maybe a dysfunctional kid, and one I wanted to disown, a redhead stepchild, but a kid nonetheless. This one's going to be a hard one to take apart. All these little, oh, you guys can't even see it. I'm sorry. You know what? Let me widen the zoom on this camera. There we go. That's way better. Let's move that aside. Yes, I clean up the trash off the floor after every stream. I really do. Actually, this room stays very clean. And that's because with Enzo's hair, if I don't vacuum just about every day or every other day, it gets pretty bad in here. So it's constantly being cleaned. And actually, speaking of that dog, would you guys like to see him? His eyes are actually open, so he's not sleeping. Which, if you know this dog, that's very unusual. This guy sleeps all the time. So let's bring him up. The man of the hour, the man who needs no introduction, although I'm giving him an introduction. Jodo. Yes, I definitely had brown pieces. Not these ones though, because it seems like Lego said they fixed the problem with it, and this set is only about 2 years old, so it's definitely part of the pieces that have been fixed. But when I rebuilt the downtown diner, what do you call it? The modular. When I built that one, the little brown clips for the boxing ring, every single one of those broke. And when I was building the rebuilding, I should say, which one is that? The fire brigade, the other modular, and it had the dark red pieces. A ton of those tiles broke when I was rebuilding it. I will say though, if it does happen, if you don't know, if you call Lego and let them know, they will ship you out new pieces for free. And that's exactly what I did, and on both those sets. And in fact, when I told the lady, it was the fire brigade. When I called her and I had something, I don't remember the exact number, but it was something like 25, 30 pieces that had already broken. The lady said, you know what? I don't have a problem with just sending you new pieces for all of the dark red for that set. And she was true to her word. About 3 weeks later, I got a bag in the mail from Lego, and it had all of the dark red pieces for that set. And so I didn't take any chances. I replaced them all in my set, whether they broke or not, and threw away the old ones. So usually Lego's customer service is good. They're not always. I've had a few butt heads on the phone every now and again. But most of the time they're really cool. I did finish taking apart all my Star Wars helmets yesterday. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. All right, let's bring him. Enzo. Come here. He's got to stretch, everybody. Hey, sit. Good boy. Come here. They want to see your face. Yeah, this is my buddy right here. Yes. I don't like to be licked, and you know it. You're just getting away from it because I'm on camera. Getting away with it because you're on camera. Oh, come here. He's my buddy. He's an awesome dog. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, he wants to be with me. I appreciate that. He's a German Shepherd Alaskan Malamute mix. And he's a rescue. That same sister that I'm helping with her trailer tonight. She got him first, but he didn't last very long at her place because he tried killing her goat. And so I got a phone call saying, I don't want to take him back. Do you want him? And, well, I'll be honest, I really didn't want a dog at the time. I was in the middle of moving here, but I did not want him going back to the shelter. So I said, go ahead. I'll take him, but you got to hold on to him for like 2 or 3 weeks till I get settled into the new home, which my sister was very happy that I was willing to take him. So she didn't press the issue, and she said, cool, I'll hold on to him for a little bit. So she did. And I picked him up, and he's been my dog for 2.5 years. And because he's a rescue, it took a lot to get him to not be so scared and shy. But now around me, he's fine. Around other people, though, he's still kind of shy sometimes. But greatest companion one could ask for, to be honest. We don't know exactly. I took him to the vet, and they said he's 5 or 6 years old. So I think he's got a lot of life left in him. I don't think he's getting old or anything. This is going to be a difficult set to take apart with all these little tiles on here. Maybe I should have picked a different one, huh? Man, that tile don't want to come off. Oh, that makes it easier. Just take out the plate underneath it first. Yeah, actually, while I'm doing all this deconstructing, the other thing I like to do is just kind of go through my stuff, and I'm not using it, get rid of it. And I'm looking at this right now. I've got a cat house thing. It's like a 3-level thing, and like, probably 4 or 5 cats could fit on it. And I'll be honest with you, my cat never uses it. And I don't want to throw it away because it's actually hasn't really been used, and it's in good condition, and it was kind of expensive. I think it was like $200. So maybe I'll throw that on Facebook Marketplace for, I don't know, 50, 100 something. I don't know. I'll take a look and see what I really think it's worth. This one's easier to put together because all the tiles. The last set I did was way easier to take apart because, well, but it's good, man. I mean, I like this. This is a good little thing to get into. I think I'm going to quit focusing on the tile and focus on deconstructing all of this. And if you're spending your Saturday afternoon with me, thank you. I sincerely appreciate it. Yeah, I've got like I was saying earlier, I took apart all the Star Wars helmets yesterday. I think what I need to do next is probably like the superheroes, like Spider-Man, Carnage, Iron Man, all those. I have all the helmets, by the way. If I put it outside, Miss Chip, I think it would get nasty shortly. And I don't really want to. I don't want to. And if I could get a couple of dollars for it, I mean, why not? Someone will want it. That's what I like about Facebook Marketplace, man. You almost put anything on there. And someone comes out of the woodwork and says, I've been looking for those for 5 years. Oh, but you want 100 for it? Will you take 20? Wait a minute. So you've been looking for it for 5 years, and you want it that bad, but you want to knock me down to $20, or else you don't want it? I guess that's why you've been looking for 5 years. Yeah, I think it's kind of stupid. But no, I've sold a few things on Facebook Marketplace. Some of my unused cabinets that I had for the because the cabinets I used for my pieces for my Bricklink store, I bought a few too many and it's way outside the return window. So I sold a couple of those 2 weeks ago and made a couple bucks. And now I've got a ton more of them because if you don't know, I'm not going to be doing my Bricklink store anymore. I'm selling off what I have, and I need to do a pass at it and go through and decide what I want to keep and not sell for my personal collection. So I'll be doing that shortly, and then taking those pieces out of my store. And then I'm not going to go too far down, but I will slowly mark down certain items. But in the end, I've put so much money and time into it that, and I don't need the money from it, that if I can't sell it at a reasonable price, I'm not going to let it go. I'll just absorb it into my personal collection rather than let it go for a price that I don't feel is fair. And I do think this particular diorama set I really like. Of course, while I'm sitting here taking it apart, the song that goes through my head is a stupid Weird Al song that he does the parody of the song Loda, and it's Yoda. I met him in a swamp down in Dagobah. Anyway, that's what I think of. My imagination runs wild sometimes. I saw the little runt sitting there on a log. Anyway, if you guys know the song, you know the song. If you don't, well, sorry. Go look it up. Go on YouTube and look up Weird Al Yoda. And if you haven't seen it, you can't unsee it. So I'll warn you before you try looking at it. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Thank me later. It's a good song. Wow, it's hard to believe we've been going at this for almost an hour now. In my area, Facebook Marketplace has some old stuff like mid-90s. You know, I like that stuff. I mean, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, but 90s, yeah, I remember the 90s, and that was my early married life was in the 90s. And I'll be honest with you, man, when I hear the music from the 90s, man, it just doesn't, the stuff today just can't even hold a candle to it. So I like Facebook Marketplace. I haven't done it in this area, but in other areas I've lived in, there was a website called Free Cycle instead of Recycle Free Cycle, and exactly what it sounds like. People just put stuff on there that they don't want anymore. They don't want any money for it. You just basically have to pick it up. And I've obtained some really cool retro stuff through that. Because people just don't know what it's worth, don't want to try, and they just put it on there and say, hey, just come pick it up. And dude, that's all you got to tell me. Come by, pick something up for free. I'm there. Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. But I've seen one or two more out of recent production sets like the Firehouse. Oh, wow. Dang. And you know, that's actually a theme that I think Lego, I wish they did more often. I think in the early 90s, they had the light and sound fire truck, and then they had the police command unit, or whatever it's called. And I thought the light and sound was really cool on that. But they didn't really continue it. It lasted very little. Like it was the, what do you call it? On the monorail too, the the space monorail had the flashing light on it, no sound. But they didn't really do that for very long at all. I think that's a shame because I think it's pretty cool. Oh, they do have some of the sirens too on some of the newer fire stuff, but I think the older stuff's cooler. And as I look around this room, I see a stack of Lego boxes that are earmarked for my granddaughters. I need to take the time and mail that to them. It's mostly friend sets that I picked up in that bit that I did from that store that was going out of business in Las Vegas. I went down there and picked up a whole truckload of Lego sets, and they had some friend sets. A couple of them, the box was so far damaged that I didn't want to sell them, but the Legos are fine inside. So those are the ones that I set aside for my granddaughters because they're 3 and 6. They're not gonna care the box is damaged. It's just gonna be like, oh hey, grandpa said us something cool. So yeah, I'd like to do that for them. Anybody want a Barbie dream house? Just kidding. It's my granddaughter's, and it's too big to ship. It's huge, and it's been sitting here. No one's touched it or done anything with it. Tired of it here. But no, I'll keep it because whenever she comes to visit, I know she's gonna want to play with it. Yeah, this room's got quite a bit of stuff in it. So if you look behind me, you'll see these cabinets, and they're built into the wall. There's 3 of them here, and the 2 on the ends are full of DVD videos. So it's nice because sometimes when I'm building and getting ready for some of my stuff, my things, my videos, I have a nice big TV up over here, and I'll throw in a DVD and I'll just go and watch something cool. So, and my favorite movies are from the 80s and 90s. A lot of them, some of them like Blazing Saddles, you wouldn't get away with making today. History of the World Part 1's kind of objectionable, whether you can make it today or not. Anyway, I just like the older movies. And there's Fletch, there's The Jerk, a ton of those old movies that I like watching when I'm just sitting here building, especially when I'm doing the what do you call it, Avengers Tower. However, I can't tell you how many times I've had to watch different Avengers movies for the Avengers Tower on that big screen as I'm building it just to get detail from the movie correct. Speaking of the firehouses, that most recent firehouse Lego built to me was an absolute disappointment. And I mean absolute disappointment. Because you can't even fit the front third of the fire truck inside the garage. It is so freaking short. It's like this. And I thought that was really poor form of Lego to release a set that has such a glaring deficiency to it. And Jodo, I agree with you. I think a RoboCop Lego theme would be interesting. It would. And a good friend of mine, Jim, actually on Rebrickable, I think it was, he purchased instructions to make a large RoboCop, one that's about a foot tall. And I don't know where he's at on the progress of building it. I haven't talked to him about it for a while. But RoboCop has my favorite line from any movie ever. And Mrs. Chip already knows what that one is because she doesn't like the saying. And it's the one, "I'd buy that for $1." I love that saying. I've used that many, many times in many different situations. But yes, I'd buy that for $1. All the possibilities. Old Detroit, yeah. Police stations, RoboCop's cage, Bod Dicker's gang. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. And also, I hate to say it, but the place where they shot up Murphy in the very beginning of the movie, would that alley with the burning barrels and stuff, that'd be pretty cool too. And they could also do his what do you call it? His house where his wife lived. And it was interesting how they borrowed his brain, but his brain still connected to his old address and his his old memories, even though they tried to disconnect him from that. That was pretty powerful to me. Well, we are almost done taking this apart. Let's see if we can weaken it a little bit by taking the underpinnings off here. Actually, that made it a lot easier. Okay, let's see if we can weaken it just a little bit more. Because I mean, it's coming apart. It's just the more I weaken it, the easier it is. Ooh, that's about ready to crack. There it goes. It's just amazing on how many little pieces there are. How many little green tiles. They're trans green, but whatever. Eventually, so I don't know if you guys have watched my videos with the shows that I've done with my lug, but with the lug that I belong to, we have city layout. And what I've done is I've got the Daily Bugle that I took 10 Daily Bugles plus an extra 5,000 pieces. And I built this giant Daily Bugle that's like 7 foot 4 inches tall. Yeah, it's a very specific number, I know, but it is true. It is 7 foot 4 inches tall. And I have that one there. And then usually on the same street, I'll also put the original Daily Bugle on there. And the original Daily Bugle, I don't know, it's not that tall. It ain't no 7 foot. You know, I think they did have deconstruction in mind, because if they would have used a large plate like this and there was a bunch of small tiles in there, it would have been really tough to take apart. But because they did this, where they put really small, like 2x2 pieces and 1x2s, or 1x1 or 1x whatevers, it really helps it, because you can just get on the edge, because these tiles have a little groove there. And so I actually think they had that in mind. I think that's pretty cool. Good of them to think of it ahead of time. Like I said before, this is a lot of these little green tiles. What was that movie, Dumb and Dumberer? Heesh, everywhere. So I feel about these tiles. Yeah, wasn't it Bob Saget who played the dad in that, if I remember right? Good old Bob Saget. I hate to see what happened to him, though. Ended up finding him dead in a hotel room, like so many other famous people. Work and afternoon calls. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Jodo. Actually, I'm about ready to end this anyway. I think when I'm done here, I'm going to do this, because I'll be honest, my fingers get tired doing this. So I don't think I'm going to go any further. I think I'm just going to go ahead and, when I'm done with this set, call it quits, man. But thanks for being with me. I do live streams all the time, so be on the lookout, man. And I will check out your page or your Rebrickables. I think that's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Afternoon tea. Nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, I dropped a piece here, and I think it's right up my foot. No, it's not right underneath my foot. But it's right here. Sounds cool, man. I don't check Instagram a whole lot. I do check it, though. So if there's a bit of a delay in my response, I apologize in advance. But yeah, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. Either that or through Facebook. My page on that, I have a page for a Chip Off the Old Block toys, and you can send like an instant message through that too. So either way, but yeah, love to hear from you, man. Let me know. I am happy to be almost done with this. Insta is what? Yeah, they do call it that. I've got kids in their early 20s, and yeah, I hear that all the time. I hear other things I don't want to hear either. Sometimes it almost makes me sad to hear the language that I grew up with get butchered all the time. All right, man. Take care. I'll catch you hopefully soon, man. I just got a few more. What is that? About 100 pieces. I don't want to stress the brick too much, but sometimes bending the plate a little bit helps getting these things off. Like I said, I love how they did the 2x2, the 2x whatever tiles, because then you have an edge no matter how you flip it, and it's easier to get it off. Oh, it sounded like my garage door opened, but I'm looking on the cameras. There ain't nobody around, and on my phone it actually tells me what my garage door is doing. So let me look. Maybe I have a visitor from out of this world. No, I'm just kidding. It's closed. So no. I'm hearing things. It's my old age. I don't hear things, and I hear things that don't happen. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I don't hear things that do happen, and then I hear things that didn't happen. All right. No, Spencer is not homeless, this Chip. That was one of the first things I looked at. Nope, he's still at his friend's house, according to that thing. Okay. Well, I do appreciate everyone for being here for a little over an hour live stream where I took apart 4 sets that I very desperately needed to take apart so I can make room for other stuff. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay or even now, hit the like button. And if you've haven't subscribed, or you think you've subscribed, or you have subscribed before, just double check and make sure you're still subscribed, and subscribe again if you need to. I say that because YouTube does some funny things. I don't ever throw anybody off this channel. YouTube can be nuts sometimes, and that's one of the ways that it's nuts. It throws people off the channel, and I don't know why. I've never figured that out. But I've had people actually reach out to me and say, "Hey, why did you kick me off your channel? What did I do?" And I'm like, "I didn't do it. I don't even know how to do it." So, if you want to do that, double check. I'd appreciate it. Leave me a comment below and turn on all notifications. That way you'll know when I put out a current video. All right, guys, you have a good day, and be good to each other and stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.